guys, what's going on? Luis said that he was in charge. Luis said he was taking over. Well, he said I was taking over. He said, no, I'm not going to start this over, Luis. You thought you were going to edit this later and you were thinking you're going to take. No, you said that I wasn't taking over. Where are you at, Luis? In an editing room somewhere.
He must have got that promotion then.
Yeah, that's right. I'm the captain now. It's over.
Had to jump on real quick because Joe thought he was the boss. But guess what? Who does the edits? I do, Joe. But all right, guys, go back to the video.
Right to me. Freaking way over here. Well, anyways, guys.
This guy keeps on looking at the back of my ear. Stop it.
Oh, yeah, that tickles. It's a love thing, though. So, welcome to another episode of Sky Guy Collectors. I am going to be your MC while Luis is throwing the old pigskin around or watching somebody throw football. I don't really know how sports works, but, whatever. It sounds like a good time, competitive sports, but we're here to talk about something a little bit more important. But before we do, this is guys, Chris. I had to do an intro. Chris, hold up. Hold up. Wait a second. Guys, my co-host, Christopher Gonzalez.
What's up, guys?
His full formal name.
My full formal name. Guys, welcome to another episode. Before we get started, like we always do, go get your grandma. Go get her right now. Because we need you to like, subscribe, and share. And leave us some comments down below, because this episode, there will be carnage. Oh yes, there will be carnage.
He just did
this guy right here. This guy right here. He keeps on licking my back.
Yeah.
I don't know. These guys are freaking me out over here.
Yeah, it's freaking me out a little bit too. And you know what? I feel like we are being like we're not trying to be overly inclusive, because I'm not even 100% sure that that's a word. But here's the thing. You might be able to just get your regular mother, not even the grand one.
Yeah.
And just have her join up. Like, I'm thinking about my mom right now. And I'm like, when's the last time we hung out and watched something? I think we watched like season 1 of Heroes together, which was like in 2007. And we just went through it in one shot. And that was the last time we bonded. So Mom, if you're watching this, when did you get a Facebook? And number 2, let's hang out more. So
to my mom, if you're watching, if you learned how to use the computer and you're on YouTube, hello. And I didn't do it. Back to you, Joe.
Not a problem. All right, guys, we are here on this episode to talk about the newest, not MCU movie, but we wish it was MCU, but it's not MCU. We'll see what happens. But here's the thing. We're here to talk about Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. That was his pun over there. If you couldn't determine the genius, the ones that are licking his ears. Yeah. And we're really just going to jump right into thoughts because that's what we're here. We're here to review the film. So, Chris.
Well, okay. Before anybody else moves on, there'll be some spoilers. So please, if you haven't seen the movie yet, pause this, go watch it, and then come back, and then listen to what we have to say. So,
or watch it and fast forward, or
forward or whatever. Whatever you guys want to do.
Watch the end. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, come on. Let's just keep on going. Chris, what did you think? Hold on, Chris. Can I change it up a little bit?
Yes.
What did you think of the first movie in general, and then go into this?
Okay, so the first movie, since we knew that they already stated in the first movie that had nothing to do with Spider-Man or the MCU. I went in with an open mind, and the first movie, I'm going to use the word fun. It's a fun movie. It was a fun movie. We got our take on Venom, which a lot of fans want to start seeing more villain movies, which I get it. With all the money that Sony makes, I wish they made the first one better than what it was, but it was still fun. Now, this one, I'm going to still use the word fun. I think it was a little bit better than the first one. I know people are going to disagree probably, but my opinion is the second one was good. But yet again, this was a Sony/Marvel movie.
Right.
They should have threw more money at it. I expected a little bit more than what was going on, but it was fun. It had its funny moments, and it's Venom. That's what he does. If Venom wasn't so much a big comic book character that I followed when I was younger, I read here and there, but I did like the comic series where Venom was a anti-hero. I really liked that one compared to him always battling Spider-Man. But I do want to see that. I would like to see that. But enough of me. What did you think, Joe?
So wait.
The same questions that you gave me. What did you think of the first one?
So I'm gonna mirror your thoughts on the first one, right? Basically, it was a fun movie. It wasn't great. I tried not to get caught up on the story as much because, the problem is when you see one of these movies and you're so used to the MCU and you love that connective tissue, you're literally going to start looking for where they had to sacrifice. Little mentions in the beginning were nice to, Colonel Jameson and stuff like that, that he was actually on that flight. So that was a nice throwback. But it was just, the end of the movie was lackluster. I felt like in that movie, they tried to make it a little too goofy. I didn't mind. I like Tom Hardy in general, but his take on Eddie Brock was just, I don't know. It was different than what I was expecting. Now, don't get me wrong. It's better than Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3's big line at the end. I like being evil. It makes me happy. That is not Venom. That is a creepy guy that should go to jail for a long time just for looking creepy. It was 2007. It was a different time.
Yes.
So, and there was I thought he was very well animated. I thought the size was great because that's the one thing I was missing from the last Venom. Even though that Spider-Man 3 did have some really iconic scenes with how he became Venom and stuff like that. So they were good to the source material, which also made me kind of miss it here. Because the relationship with Spider-Man and the symbiote is a really important story. So I was really missing that and, not being able to kind of connect that because I really feel like, unfortunately, that adds to the character. I don't feel like he holds up a movie really good, and continuing to do movies about symbiotes just by themselves isn't great. So that moves us on to the second one. Second one, it was a quick movie, which to be honest, I was okay with because I automatically we're back into the same thing. We're taking off from the first movie. You're seeing where he's at a few months later. He's still in love with the girl. They're getting engaged. So you're she's getting engaged to the same guy from last one. So he's upset. And then they pick up exactly where they left off with Woody Harrelson's Cletus Kasady. So let's talk about him real quick, right? The character of Carnage, I'll be honest, I grew up with the 95 Spider-Man show, so you had Venom and then even in that cartoon series, I know they did this in the comics too, and he's evolved so much, but even in the cartoon series, Venom actually kind of redeemed himself near the end of the arch that they did with them and before they invited Carnage, because Carnage was just this big menacing character. But the character of Cletus Kasady in general was just it was very he's goofy. He's a little bit almost like a, he's a serial killer. He's got this quirky murderous side, but I feel like Woody Harrelson just played it too much ham, and I see what they were doing, giving him a weak spot, because they also introduced Shriek, who is also had a symbiote in the comics, and in one of the Super Nintendo video games, the sequel to Maximum Carnage. They just showed her as having mutant abilities, which I did notice they used the word mutant. I was kind of curious if they actually got permission for that. So they used that, but they showed her with her mutant ability, but they didn't show her actually get a symbiote. And then we had subplots with this other cop who had hunted down Shriek and was looking into Eddie Brock. So by the end of the
Yeah.
movie, basically, you know, and we're recounting because there's spoilers, you know, he's going back and forth with Cletus Kasady, exposes his, you know, the scene of the murder. Cletus Kasady asks him to be seen at his execution. And then, you know, he bites him, or, you know, Cletus Kasady bites Eddie, and that's how he gets the symbiote, which
Yes.
I don't know the comics enough, but that I don't feel like that's exactly how it happened. I thought like
I think they changed it up a little bit.
yeah.
That's what I was kind of worried on, how Carnage became Carnage, or Carnage got there.
Yeah.
Just to see that, I think, listen, we're in the MCU world. They are going to change some of the story.
Yeah.
Or we're not in the MCU world. We're in Sony world. They're
Yeah.
going to change. They're going to change the story. Now, I want to piggyback off what you're saying. I have a different opinion on Woody Harrelson. I think he was a good Cletus Kasady and Carnage. You know, I think it fit. I think the quirkiness, it fell in the right spot because he's psychotic. He's not normal,
Right.
like a normal person. So he's not going to act normal. So when he, you know, the time that you did see him act normal was kind of strange, but his quirkiness did fall in line. Now, in this one, in part 2 compared to part 1, I don't know if you heard it or not, because my wife said it when we left the movie theater. I heard Bane. I heard Tom Hardy's voice as Venom, but I heard Bane for Batman.
I did not hear. I would have loved to hear that.
But that way it sounded like, and I was looking around, I was like, "Where's Batman? Where's Batman?" You know. But you know, she said, "I'm like, okay." I thought it was because in the first one, it didn't sound muffled when he was talking. This time around, it sounded a little bit more muffled.
Yeah.
And also, his sentences were longer as Venom, where in the first one it was like a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But you know. Like Shriek, I'm disappointed because I wanted to see Shriek, because in the comics, Venom does go against other symbiotes,
Right.
and Shriek is one of them. So now, I don't believe she's dead. That's my take on it.
Right.
So we might get to see her later on,
Yeah.
but you know, I like you said, I like the shortness of the movie. You know, how long could you play out a Venom movie? Not that long. Downside, a negative to the movie, my personal opinion is this is Carnage. This is one of the worst symbiotes ever to come to our planet.
Right.
And it wasn't bloody enough for me. It wasn't gory. In the comics, he went ham on everything.
Right.
You know, but other than that, it was all right.
See, I think the threat needed to be better. But once again, we're in a Venom movie, and Venom, it's you know, it's just like very much. There's only so much they can do. So basically, you know, they find out about Carnage, and then they go face them in what, like the first hour, you know, and that's the ending of the movie. I'm like, wait, are they wrapping this up? You know, so you know, I will say. They did like I wasn't crazy about some of the design choices they did with it, but he did pose a ridiculously huge threat. He was incredibly menacing, very scary. Just like it just seemed almost overwhelming, almost overpowered. Like, and then like who could stop him? Like I would even think like, what's Tom Holland going to do against this thing? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like it was just like it was like ridiculous, you know, but like I didn't like that because I don't think him and Cletus were ever a problem being a match.
No.
They were using that. They were trying to use any humanity that Cletus had and trying to like make you feel empathy for him. It's like, I just wanted a family. And I was like, okay, we're gonna bite your head off now.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I mean, it just, you know, and then it wraps up with, you know, him on the run and, you know, I mean, the love interest being there again. I mean, it was fine for continuity. It didn't really add a ton. I mean, it added a moment where he had to like, you know, find the, you know, energy to save, but I'll also be like, I don't like that Venom is such a separate personality. You know, because you know, once again in the comics and whatnot, it's kind of merged. It's almost like Dr. Octopus when he has the little thing, and they're like, you know, it's just like they're just like becoming a new person together. So they'll give the "we are Venom" business, but you never buy that they're not two separate entities, and they sell it that they're two separate entities. You know,
well, I think in this movie, he was struggling because we didn't get to see it in the first one because it just happened.
Right.
They're both struggling to coexist together because they're one body. So we got to see it towards the end of the movie where, hey, they're both getting along now, and I believe Venom said, "I love you."
Yeah, he did. It was a very sweet moment. It was better
very
than
sweet
the name
moment.
love story.
Yes.
But like, yeah, I mean, like the whole club scene and stuff like that, where it's just like, I'm just like, okay, this is.
I could have done without that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the club scene I could have done without because that just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I didn't like in the beginning. I didn't mind like the scene where it's just like the symbiote, like in the first movie, symbiote's the what was it, Arsenal? It was going back and forth in between like the people, and it was scary and it was terrifying. Here they just made it goofy. It's like, oh, I'm running out of humans, and just jumping place to place and hitting up clubs. It was just. And then when Venom was there, it was just Venom. So it's just like, what's differentiating this from when Tom Hardy's with him and being the Venom character? So I just would have, and maybe that would have been hard to do on film. I think there's a balance, but I mean, it's also who you have at the helm, and you had Andy Serkis at the helm, and I love Andy Serkis.
Yes.
I thought a lot of the directorial, choices and the cinematography was very well done. But I mean, storyline, I think they were like, there was only so much you can do. Like to say, like they left some plot holes open, like we were talking about in the beginning. Shriek could come back, Mulligan can come back, but like it's just like it's not overall interesting unless they were to somehow connect it to like more characters somehow, maybe like somehow connected to the MCU.
Ooh. Well, before, I always thought, or I heard from Sony, they've always wanted to do a Sinister Six movie. And I think we're getting that.
I mean, they tried to take it off with Amazing Spider-Man 2, but guys, I mean, I think it's no surprise, especially for, at least me, Chris, and definitely Louise too. Like, the most anticipated movie this year for me has been Spider-Man.
Yes.
And it's just growing. Chris, you want to paint the scene for the mid-credits reveal?
The mid-credits or the end credits?
It was a mid-credits. Was there end credits that I missed?
No. I didn't stay all the way. There was more at the end?
No, I said mid-credits. Did I start with mid-credits or?
Oh, mid-credits. Yes, it was a mid-credit. Yes. There
was a mid-credit scene.
It was a mid-credit. So we got Venom and
Edward
in a hotel room. Somewhere, it looked like somewhere in South America.
Tahiti
or so. Yeah. The room was all ragged, old TV. He was watching an old TV. And Venom went on to say something that Eddie's mind couldn't handle, like the truth about what goes on in the universe. Then all of a sudden, there was this flash of light. Now, fans out there, the flash of light reminded me of the flash of light that we saw in Loki.
I didn't think about that.
And also a little bit of Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange, the trailer too, for Doctor Strange. The next thing you know, there's a news report on the TV, and Spider-Man is right there. And Venom licks the TV and said, "Oh, he looks tasty." And then some weird dude walks out of the bathroom and said, "What are you doing in my room?" And that's how it ends.
Implications right away. I mean, listen, we were all expecting. I mean, first of all, I don't know, the crowd went wild.
Yes.
Like literally guys next to me just like, ah!
Yeah.
Huge fan reaction. Because that's what people really wanted. And I think what this is telling us is that Sony, and it's, once again, this has all been what we suspected, but Sony and Marvel have found a way through the multiverse, because that's
coexist.
Coexist,
which is awesome.
Yeah. So, but this leads up to a million different possibilities. Sony may push out more Spider-Man movies on their own But the Tom Holland ones could stay in the Marvel. They might bring us back with, Tobey or even Andrew Garfield. They might find a way to continue on the series if they have ties back to the MCUs with these characters, because I think Sony realizes the importance of the MCU and the importance that they have on it. So I think they found a really good loophole, because honestly, the Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man is not something that you need to be milking. I don't care that, like, like the character, like what's the other one we got coming out? Morbius, right? That was
Morbius.
Morbius. That got pushed to next year, but that was supposed to be. That's also probably has links to the MCU.
Well, they have in Morbius. I saw a trailer of it. There, he's in the alleyway, and there is a poster of Spider-Man.
Yeah, and it's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yes. So,
the Vulture.
Yes, the Vulture. Now, the big thing for me is now they teased this at the end. We don't know that sixth Sinister Six villain.
So we've got Green Goblin, we got Electro, we've got
Sandman,
Dr. Octopus, we got Sandman, we got the Lizard. Could Venom be 6? And would it be a villain thing? Like, are we just going to get a cameo? Because clearly they're setting this up. So Venom's got to have at least a small role in Far From Home, No Way Home.
So I'm thinking that since we're having this multiverse of madness happening, that Venom's Earth and I always call it the 616. That's the real MCU. I think it crossed over, and that's why everything changed, because everything changed in the room, and it was a nice room.
Right.
And the sun was up. It was a nighttime scene, and all of a sudden the sun was up. So I don't know if he's going to be there to be a bad guy. He might come in, and we might think that he'll be a bad guy, but then maybe he's not. Because in the comic books, he does redeem himself, and he's that anti-hero, But I yelled out a woo when I saw that. So I'm like, yes, finally, you can't have Venom without Spider-Man. I'm sorry.
I was actually expecting Doctor Strange for some reason.
That would have been interesting too. Yes, but
I preferred this, but I was expecting Doctor Strange. So, I mean, it was just, it was great. It was great. It jazzed me up.
So, you're on Doctor Strange now.
Right.
Yeah, you've been watching What If, right?
Of course, I'm not a monster.
I like What If, especially one of my favorite episodes has to do with Doctor Strange.
Right.
And it's about evil Doctor Strange. Is that the Doctor Strange we're going to get in the Multiverse of Madness?
We might have that answer on Wednesday because of the spoiler, because we just saw that evil Doctor Strange again.
Yes.
That's how they ended.
So, the way everything's going, it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
I'm very stoked. I'm feeling the same way like I did in the first 10 years, watching all the Iron Mans. Obviously, Iron Man 3. But watching all those, I'm getting that feel again. I'm actually getting excited now for Eternals, because I saw Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi was awesome.
Yeah.
You did too.
Yeah, we did a video.
We did a video. And Eternals, I think, is going to be good too. And I think we're going to see a lot from that movie too.
Yeah. I'm going into that movie with a Guardians of the Galaxy expectation.
Yes.
Have no idea what to expect. Have no idea where they're going. But it's Marvel. Marvel rarely lets us down. Like I said, even like Black Widow was a little disappointing, but it was still a good movie. It was still a decent origin movie. I think it was just misplaced, and the expectation was way too high on it because we waited so long.
Disney and Scarlett Johansson settled.
Finally.
And she is going to be playing a role in the Tower of Terror movie.
Right.
And they already stated that she will be continuing her role in the MCU moving forward.
Really?
Yes.
So I wonder how they're going to try and. Well, I mean, here's the thing: multiverse is a
multiverse.
Yeah.
multiverse.
Literally, they can do anything. They can bring Steve back if they want to. They can cast them as different characters.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we're not going to want to see our favorite characters retired. We're not, and that's how movies go. Movies get rebooted. I mean, it's the same thing with comics,
Comics get rebooted every 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Because they got to sell. They have to sell.
The Marvel movies might eventually just become like the ultimate, like have an ultimate universe in another 10 to 15 years. I mean, I hope it doesn't happen that quick, but eventually we're going to want retold origin stories. This is the way things recycle and stuff like that. So, I think honestly, Spider-Man is becoming like an end game type event right now. Which I'm a little nervous for because there's almost too much hype for it. I mean, because we're on nostalgia overload right now and we're talking about Spider-Man right now, but it's fine. It's a segue. But like, it's thinking like, now we're getting possibly Tobey Maguire, and like, regardless of what you thought about the original movies and Bully Maguire and everything like that, I remember sitting in the theater and just wazzing myself watching that first movie.
I mean, Tobey Maguire was a good Spider-Man. Now, was he like the best Spider-Man? Like, hands down, Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, how Spider-Man is supposed to be act and so forth. But for the time that those movies came out with Tobey, they were good. We got to see the villains, that I think that's what a lot of us like, yes, we want to see the heroes, but we also want to see the villains because there are as many heroes there are in the MCU or in Marvel, there are that many villains.
Yeah.
And I would like to see them. And going down this road, I'm happy. I'm happy that they use the word mutant because, listen, I'm itching for an X-Men movie or something. Yes, those movies, some of them are but they're still comic book movies,
Well, this is the first time, and we can't really call this movie MCU, but it's clearly connected. So this is the first time in anything related to MCU, because I know MCU is not claiming that movie.
Nope.
They're claiming the end. They're definitely not claiming that movie because they're like, that's probably, compared to what they do, is like, that's hot garbage. We wouldn't have signed off on Venom in a club. That's almost as creepy as Maguire dancing.
What I'm dying to see now, I saw the ending there. I want to see Venom actually get the spider on his chest. Now.
Yes. I mean, that's one of my big things that I did miss, about the whole, I thought they did a great job with like hulking them out and stuff like that. But it's like, I always want to see like the classic Venom. And they didn't even do that in the last movie. I get it. It's cheesy, but if he's going to like start getting obsessive with Peter Parker, it might be a good segue in.
Yes.
And it's also the possibility we might get alternative Venoms as well. So we don't know what this movie's going to do. We don't know that a symbiote story still won't be told because
we don't know what the multiverse is going to bring us.
Yeah. Like, I have no idea. And we don't know where Tom Holland's going. Tom Holland wants to stay in the main MCU. But like at the same time, where's this movie going to end up?
If it wasn't for Tom Holland, we would the MCU would have lost Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's been fighting for it.
He fought for it. He made both sides see that, hey, you both can make your money. You don't have to be greedy, And the one good thing, like we said over and over again, Marvel Studios knows how to pick actors to play the characters. And Tom Hardy, he did a lot of producing in this film. And I think he didn't do a bad job.
No.
It was okay. He has a lot of things to learn, but if he works with Marvel Studios a little bit more, I think they will get better.
Yeah, I think as an actor, as a look, I think the Eddie Brock character is great. But however, they're playing Eddie Brock as a hero. And it's not that he doesn't have heroic moments, but that's all they've ever played him on. They've never played him. Unfortunately, the desperate Eddie Brock, the real desperate Eddie Brock. That we've seen, unfortunately, even in Spider-Man 3. I'm saying unfortunately because I'm saying Spider-Man 3, because then we have to talk about, basically they were trying to make Tobey Maguire's opposite in stature, size too. And it was just like, okay, guys, it's Venom. It's my favorite character. What are you guys doing? Come on. Go ahead. But that was a complete studio decision. And that's when we first noticed that, because Sam Raimi, who directed all three of those movies, each one was great on its own. The last one had moments, but other than that, that was all studio intervention, and I have no idea why.
It was the original Justice League.
Yeah.
That was the original.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. So, but I think the future looks bright. We could talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
And hours,
And we have.
we have, and sorry, Luis, you have to edit this all.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is series 1. It's a serious conversation.
Yes, we're in the moment. We're in the now.
This is the pocket.
But guys, thank you for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, it's always been a pleasure, talking the movies with you, man. I can't wait. There's more to come in. This is only the beginning of what's happening. Like this year, it took the beginning year took a little slow to take off, but now we're actually taking off with all these movies. And it's not just Marvel, it's everything. Like going into Christmas, we have so many movies coming out and shows, so, but,
oh yeah, Hawkeye. I forgot about Hawkeye.
Hawkeye,
Is that our next Marvel show? Are we taking a break? Do we have anything in between?
That is the next Marvel show. Yes.
Okay.
Is Hawkeye for the year.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Boba Fett at the end of the year.
Boba Fett, December 29th. That's a weird date, but I'll take it.
So, guys, we want to wrap this up because we knew we were going to go a little bit on the MCU, but I
got to brush this guy's teeth over here. I brush this guy. See how it's nice and white.
He is white. Carnage definitely has gingivitis, and that's something that you should.
I gave him both mitts before we started. So
okay, all right. Well, guys, we do actually want to mention our sponsor once again. Poland Spring has come back in clutch to really finance this whole endeavor. As you can see, our lighting's much better. I'm using an actual microphone this time, and I was able to change my underwear, which had nothing to do with them, but my washing machine's fixed. So thank you guys for watching.
Yes,
once again, hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Tell your grandmothers, your mothers, tell a few of my ex-girlfriends so they know I'm successful. You know who you are.
Just to let everybody know, Luis mentioned it in the last video. We are a week away of going to Comic-Con. I'm sorry, Joe, you're not joining us.
I have a waxing that day.
We're planning to go live on Facebook one of the 2 days. We have something to give away. Our goal is to get this channel to 100 subs, and we'll give you more detail. Just please stay tuned. Have those notifications on, so whenever we drop anything, we go live or something like that, you are notified.
And once we
thank everybody.
Yeah, thank you. And once we do hit 100 subs, we will be sponsored by Jersey Mike's, so do not let us down.
Yes.
Sandwich joke for Louise. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Right,
and we will see you on the next video, which might be sooner than I expect. I don't know, maybe Eternals.
That's in like a month.
Yeah, or we might just need to wrap up What If as a full series.
We are planning to do that, yes.
Okay.
What If? I think we're going to do that because we got Comic-Con this week. I think it'll be probably the video after that.
Stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned.
We're going to be talking about cartoons like nobody's freaking business.
Love them.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.